an hour with the Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, December 4th meeting of the Collegedale City Commission. We're glad that all of you have come to join us this evening. And as we get ready to start, I've asked Commissioner Lamb to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation.
Let's bow our heads. Our kind Heavenly Father, tonight we thank you for the opportunity to work for the city and to make this a pleasant place for all of us to live. And we pray that you will guide us in our decisions and our discussions tonight. In thy name, amen. Let's stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And can we have our roll call, please?
Commissioner Baker.
Present.
Commissioner Lamb.
Here.
Commissioner Sadler.
Here.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Lloyd.
Present. And believe we have had a chance to review our previous meeting minutes from the November 20th Commission meeting, as well as our November 27th Commission workshop meeting minutes. Any changes, deletions that any of the commissioners?
I move to approve the 20th of November.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion for approval and a second for the November 20th meeting minutes. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baker.
Yay.
Commissioner Lamb.
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay. And do we have a motion for approval for the November 22nd workshop meeting minutes?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, a motion for approval and a second?
Second.
And a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker.
Yay.
Commissioner Lamb.
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
I will abstain since I was not present.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay. And next item on the agenda, comments from citizens. And Commissioner Sadler, I believe that you have a guest here with us
Sure.
this
I'd like
evening.
to recognize Sebastian House. If he'd like to come up and introduce himself, he's here tonight as a part of his government class.
Hello, commissioners. I'm Sebastian House. I'm a junior in high school, and I'm here as a government project to see what I'm doing more with my local government and understand and be an educated voter when it comes time for me to vote. Thank you for having open meetings.
Thank you for
Well,
attending.
thank you for being here with us this evening. Okay.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Bartow, if you'll give us your name and address, please.
David Bartow, 11901 Meadowview Road, Georgetown. I just wanted to thank Christina Clark, the head of Parks and Rec, and for doing an absolutely fantastic job last night. The Christmas program was just about perfect. I mean, it went off without a hitch. I think we figured that there was probably between, you were thinking
500 to
3,500, I think was what we about agreed on. And then I also wanted to thank Eric Sines. He's been helping us over at the Commons with that 47-foot tall Christmas tree. And everyone's just sort of marveling at the thing. And then last but not least, I want to thank Tanya and Tim for coming out Saturday afternoon and helping me put up the 16.5-foot tall Christmas tree inside, because that thing was a monster to put up. So just wanted to, I mean, sometimes we need to say thank you to the guys, and I thought Christina and Eric and everybody did a fantastic job.
Yeah, agree.
I would echo those sentiments exactly. So job well done. Christina, thank you very much. It looked fantastic and everyone had a great time. Eric, thank you for your help, your team's help. Couldn't have done it without you guys, so thank you very much. Job well done.
Jim Willis, 4120 Bird's Eye View. I'll acknowledge that I'm older than David Bartow. Now, as to who's the ugliest, we don't have to get into that. When Sherry and I moved here, or after Sherry and I moved here about 3 years ago, I asked the commission if it would consider starting the meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I was pleased to say that you favorably accepted that suggestion. It occurs to me that if we're going to stand to honor the flag, shouldn't we stand to honor God? So I'd like to ask you to consider asking us to stand for the invocation. One other thing, I've noticed that quite a few large trucks are parking overnight at Four Corners on the northwest corner. I'd also like for you to consider a prohibition of parking large trucks overnight in Collegedale. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. I would concur with your sentiments. I think it would be appropriate for us to stand. So thank you for mentioning that.
Can I interrupt for a quick
Yes.
second? I just got a text from a community member saying that they cannot hear anything on the streaming. Are we having issues again?
We have been having, hang on. No, wait.
Because I thought Wayne said it was going to be fixed a couple weeks ago.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I had a discussion with Wayne before he went on vacation, strongly suggesting or recommending rather that we try to set up a permanent sound little booth or equipment location where we can keep a laptop. The problem is plugging and unplugging. I feel like it's dealing with the connector, that there's a shorten out, because I did a test before the meeting and it was working fine. So, but Jason Allen has a way with software that he can take Christy Wheeler's audio recording and merge it in to the live stream. So after the meeting, we can have it available where if somebody wanted to come back and watch after the fact, it would have sound at that point. It's not optimal, but we also ordered another device that between Jason and I, we're hoping that that will help with dealing with the sound issue, but we definitely do test before the meeting to ensure that it will work properly. So
Can y'all try to reboot it? Because, I mean, this is 4 weeks, I think. I thought Wayne said we had ordered new equipment to fix this or had technicians coming in.
It's working.
Is it now?
It's been working all week.
Well, I've got text saying it's not.
I just checked the live stream and went back and there's sound.
Okay, I'll text her
all right,
back.
thanks.
Thank you. Okay, with regard to the trucks parked at Four Corners, it's my understanding where the trucks are parking is private property. Chief, is that the case?
I'm not sure what specific trucks he's talking about, but where are you?
It's it's an 18-wheeler at the old Rite Aid.
Yeah.
That's private property then, so as long as the private property allows them, then there's nothing we can do that I'm aware of.
I believe Chattanooga has an ordinance where you can't park them on certain areas, but I'm not sure what the specifics are. Sam, do you know of anything? Okay. It might just be a residential prohibition.
I would like for us to look into that because I would agree totally. It's an eyesore. I think it looks bad. I think it looks bad that we have an abandoned Rite Aid there. And I don't like the trucks parking there. I think it looks really bad. So Sam, we can look into that. Let's see what we can do to put a stop to that.
Not sure it's the image we want to create for Collegedale.
Yeah.
And sometimes the trucks that park there overnight have wrecked automobiles on them, which is particularly an eyesore.
Agree.
Yeah. I think as a city, we can do better. So thank you for mentioning both of those. Any other citizens have comments this evening? If you step up to the mic. If there are no other comments noted, then we will move on in our agenda. Next, we have some unfinished business, and I will close the commission meeting, and I will open our public hearing, second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1130.
An ordinance of the City of Collegedale, Tennessee, to revise purchasing limits and further define the authority of the city manager as to purchasing.
This ordinance, and you can see in the body of the whereas, has been authorized by state law. I guess just from the standpoint that $10,000 in 1983 is $25,000 now. And so we passed it on the first reading. We had passed a version of this some months ago, and this kind of cleans that. There's some extra authority, and this cleans that up.
Okay. Any comments from our commissioners on this?
For the public hearing first.
Well, I've opened the public.
So in a public hearing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry, our citizens, any comments from the citizens? Okay, no comments noted in commission? I'm sorry. Okay. All right, we will close the public hearing and we will reopen the commission meeting. And do we need to vote on that?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and this goes into effect in 15 days. Okay.
I had spoken with the city manager about this in his office before it was presented to us at the workshop initially. And at that time, he said he didn't have any need for it. And then he also kind of echoed that when we had it in the workshop. I'm opposed to it because I think it reduces our oversight authority.
Okay, other comments?
I think there are some situations, and Michelle probably is more familiar with some of them, where they have to postpone making a decision that's budgeted to purchase stuff because of that 10,000. And that's the only reason I'm in favor of it. And Michelle, I don't know if you have any example, but
Examples tonight for the radars. We almost didn't get the price that we were hoping for because it was past the date because we had to present it to you first, but it was budgeted. It's just over 10,000. Mostly this would be budget. If there's anything that wasn't budgeted, we would always bring it to you. I think if it was even, $1,000, we would bring it to you. This would just be items that were budgeted and planned for, and we talked about in the capital projects and all that sort of thing that are between the 10,000 and the 25,000. If it gets past the 25, obviously we'll bring it to you and bid.
And it's my understanding this is in keeping with the limits of other city managers in this region. Is that correct?
I believe several have voted this. Yeah.
Two of my other cities have adopted this.
To counter that argument about if this was passed, the city manager could just go ahead and purchase these radar detectors that are on tonight's agenda. I'd rather him not have that authority because one of my questions for tonight is we just purchased 4 back in April. So I was wondering why so soon are we getting 4 more? That kind of argument I'd like to have the oversight of.
But we would still have
We
the
wouldn't.
items on the agenda that we would vote for.
No, we wouldn't. He would just purchase it. He would have the authority without bringing it in front of us. And we can talk about the radar later,
Yeah.
but just using that as an example.
Can I speak to some of the examples? Would that be all right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
sure, because you're impacted as well.
Yeah. So Public Works is impacted on several of the departments that I run, one of which is our sanitation department. Garbage trucks are expensive to fix. Used to be most of our repairs came in between $5,000 to $8,000. In the last 5 years, that's doubled. The last couple of repair quotes I've gotten have been $12,000, $16,000 or so. And when that happens, that triggers the commission having to vote because technically we have a backup truck. It's not an emergency, but even though it's budgeted for repair work, because it's over that $10,000 limit, I've got to wait 2, sometimes 3 weeks to get it approved. You know, if the truck breaks down Wednesday, we don't get price until late Thursday. It's not on the agenda. I'm 2 weeks out, then I can give approval to start, order parts. We're looking at a month-long repair process versus breaks down. We have funding to fix it. It gets approved, it gets taken care of. That's the main thing that impacts us.
So you're looking for efficiency.
Efficiency, correct. You know, $10,000 when I started 8 years ago, it wasn't very often we had stuff come in above that unless it was absolutely major. Now, just about anything outside of routine small stuff, you're getting very close to that, if not over that $10,000 mark.
And by waiting to, it's going to affect the impact of your service, but getting services to the community, like garbage truck being,
Right.
you know, not being able to run or whatever, not having enough to get it.
Right.
I understand.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other comments from the commission?
I move to approve.
I will second that. We have a motion for approval and a second. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
No.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay. And the next, under new business, approval of FY 2023 audit report.
So the auditor is not able to make it tonight, so he has asked that we postpone this for the December 18th meeting.
Okay. All right.
Should
So
we-
we will,
Make a motion to defer to December 18th.
sure. Okay, we have a motion to defer.
Second.
And we have a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay. And next item is first reading of ordinance 1131.
An ordinance to amend the official zoning map to rezone certain properties from shopping center commercial, C2, to agriculture, AG, more particularly described as Hamilton County Tax Map 132, parcel 046, said properties being located within the corporate limits of Collegedale, Tennessee.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jason. I'm the staff planner for the city. So we have 3 ordinances coming tonight. They were recently in our November planning commission. So the first case was zoning 2023-06, which is ordinance 1131. And as Christy said, this is a rezone to go from shopping center commercial to agriculture, and that's located at 10517 Lee Highway. So here's a vicinity map. You may be familiar with the property because it's where the flags are being sold currently. And the parcel north to that is Hamilton County. So the developer's wish is to basically subdivide by 11 lots, and 3 of which would be in the city of Collegedale. The remaining to the left or to the west on the map, that's all Hamilton County. And here's a close-up. Lots 1, a portion of 2, 10, and 11 would be in the city of Collegedale. They would be serviced by a private driveway easement that goes through the center of the parcels. But each parcel would meet, we have a public frontage requirement in our subdivision code. So there is flag lots on lot 10 just to meet that criteria. And if trash service was requested, it would be picked up off the highway. But it sounds like the developer is going to go ahead and waive their rights for trash service and have that come in privately. So it's pretty basic. Planning Commission recommended approval and staff recommends approval as well.
Okay. And do we have a developer here that'd like to speak to that?
Thank you for the opportunity. Barry Payne. We just have studied this extensively and believe that this is our best option for this piece of property. Yep.
Any questions from the commission?
I move to approve. Oh, sorry.
I have one question. If it's going to be built on for residential area, why is it going agriculture versus residential?
The agriculture allows for larger lot sizes. These are going to be more of an estate farm style residential homes.
These are 3 to 5 acre tracts, and it's zoned C2 right now, so we were just trying to zone in keeping with what we're going to develop.
Thank you.
I move to approve.
Second.
And we have a motion for approval and a second, and roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And first reading of ordinance 1132.
An ordinance to amend the official zoning map to rezone certain properties from industrial, I-1, to university, U1, more particularly described as Hamilton County Tax Map 141, parcel 031, L010, said properties being located within the corporate limits of Collegedale, Tennessee.
This project was also brought to the November Planning Commission. If you're familiar with where McKee's Plant 1 was demolished, that area was all zoned industrial. The university currently has a project that they're looking at to move forward with, and this was kind of caught under the radar that this was never rezoned from industrial. So if you look at the map, there's an awkward little piece that's still zoned industrial, but it's still within the college campus. So this is mostly just to clean that up and make their parent parcel all single zoning. The reason this was found is because the university is looking for ways to find more housing for students. They had an influx of students this year. I believe they had an extra 700 freshmen. So this is a small kind of cottage-style homes that would meet the minimum criteria for the size of dormitories that they're looking to put on the side of the hill. This hasn't been submitted yet, but this is just a site plan of what that could look like. And again, this was zoned industrial, so we have to just go ahead and switch that to university. I don't believe the applicant is here, but this is all recommended for approval during commission as well.
Any questions from the commission?
Is in order to, can the fire, is the elevation such that it is safe for the fire department and so forth to get up to where they want to put those
Yeah, so
little
that's something
houses?
that Matt's already seen this. It's got to be at least a 12% grade or less. And I believe they would have to install a fire hydrant at the Y up there towards the northern dormitories. But from Matt looking at it, I believe he said what we had to go off now, that they would be fine. Of course, that would be subject to review once they officially submit as well.
And Matt being the fire marshal, Matt Mundahl.
Sorry, Matt Mundahl. Yeah, sorry about that.
Never mind.
Okay.
I have some questions about the picture that I saw of the little houses
With
they
the
want to
closets.
put up there. If they're going to put women up there,
They need more closets.
they're going to put more closet space or something in there, because what I saw, there's no way.
I have 3 closets at my home, and my
Two
wife does
women
too.
can stay in one of those bedrooms with that little tiny closet.
Glad we're not voting on that one.
Okay, go for it.
And all 3 of these projects, so this is the first hearing. They were noticed to be advertised 15 days before, I believe this last Sunday. So we'll have the open mic in 2 weeks for public comment.
I don't know, some guys have a lot of clothes too.
Don't ask my wife. Any other comments from the commission?
So that public hearing will be on December 18th?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Motion for approval.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion for approval
I'll second.
and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay. And next item is first reading of ordinance 1133.
An ordinance to amend the official zoning map to rezone certain properties from shopping center commercial, C2, to residential zero lot line townhouse district, R1T, more particularly described as Hamilton County Tax Maps 131, parcels 091.12 and 091.009, said properties being located within the corporate limits of Collegedale, Tennessee.
So this project was also seen in the November Planning Commission. This one's a little different. It's got a little caveat to it. So the applicant's proposing to rezone 9015 Jack Kate Road and 5560 Little Debbie Park. That would go from commercial as it stands now to our townhouse district. Our townhouse district, this would be the second zoning that, if approved, would be in the city, as it's a newer zoning that came in about 2 years ago. So you see the aerial, this is between, you can see Walmart to the east and Little Debbie to the west, and the car washes down to the south. This sits right behind Pinnacle Bank. And here's the current zoning. So here's a site plan. It would be a 30-unit townhome district and subdivision. Here's a further enlarged image. There would be a community lot that would hold a smart park as well. So with this being a zoning case, staff always tries to look ahead to see if there's any other obstacles that we might see when we go to subdivide or do items such as that during site and civil review. So the applicant is proposing private streets within the subdivision. Based off our subdivision regulations, any residential home or lot parcel in the city needs to meet a public right-of-way or public street frontage. These, for example, need at least a 20-foot public street frontage. So that's something that staff caught, and it came with a condition when we went to Planning Commission in November, which was to have all these stay on a public street. The applicant, I guess, is indifferent about that and would want private streets. As this is a zoning case, I can't really deny something based off that because it doesn't make sense. It's a good zoning case. I believe that zoning as commercial now isn't very viable as it sits behind other commercial buildings. But when it does come to our subdivisions and stuff, that's where it would get denied. So tonight, if the commission approves it with the condition, then the applicant would have to accept that condition moving forward. And then that would get approved, and we would have to see public streets for that subdivision. If the commission wishes to not approve it with that condition, then moving forward, they would be able to come back and have a variance for that. They would have to still apply for that variance and get that approved for a private street. If any of that makes sense, let me know. If not, I can further explain.
Does it not create spot zoning?
It doesn't. It doesn't. The R1T zone through our land use, with townhomes, you're trying to make walkability and connectivity. So I felt that this would be good with Walmart there, other commercial uses there, that you'd probably have people in their 20s or 30s who are very starting out and they do like the walkability and stuff like that, to kind of have that kind of a mixed zoning with there. I thought that would be pretty compatible.
Will younger people be able to afford a $600,000 townhome?
That just depends on who it is.
And we do have an applicant here.
Yes, the applicant is here, or the representative.
Thank you. Mike Price, MAP Engineer, 7380 Applegate Lane, Chattanooga, Tennessee. So yes, this is a 30-unit townhome development, which would be a gated community is what we are proposing. The price point of these townhomes would be $500,000 to $600,000. If you look at the site plan, you see, I'm going to come over to the screen here. This is your current, that was there,
Yes, sir.
So this is your current right-of-way of Jack Kate. This property that we have comes to here, which is a limited area. Of course, this is your driveway to Pinnacle Bank, which we, when the owner sold this, kept an access easement in through here. So given that we have other access that comes out on Little Debbie Parkway, unfortunately, it is not wide enough to give us access to do a public road. So what we did is we looked at a plan where we are utilizing the current access coming off of Pinnacle Bank. We would come through, have a gated entrance at that point, and then you come into the development which you see here, and then a cul-de-sac that would come off of Road B there at the end. This road, if built, even though it is private, would be built to city standards. The paving thickness, the paving width, sidewalks, everything is exactly like a public road. The only difference is Collegedale doesn't have to maintain it, is what we're asking. The developer will build it to those standards, and then the community will then maintain that road. Now, you might say, oh, wait a second, that probably wouldn't work. We have plenty of examples where that takes place. If you're familiar with the Legend subdivision off of Igo Gap Road, that's a private gated community. Hampton Creek off Snow Hill Road in Ooltewah, gated community. Seven Lakes subdivision, gated community. Where I live in a gated community and there's only 5 lots. We all work together. We pay for the cost of maintaining the road. We paid for our gated entrance. We work together well. And what typically has happened in the past, and I think part of the trepidation with regards to private roads deals with maybe some experiences in the past as it relates to when there was not the proper language installed on how the maintenance would work, and that everybody had to contribute whatever it took to maintain those road systems. We now have those in place just like we do for detention facilities. So it's really no different as it relates to any other requirements for a private community. And given that these, again, are $500,000 to $600,000 homes, the price point of which these individuals that would live here to have the funds and ability to maintain the road is viable as we see it. I would also point this out. Go 100 miles in any direction from where I stand right now today, and every community that I'm aware of within 100 miles of here allows private roads. Collegedale is the outlier. I don't think everybody else has got it wrong and still allows it. So to me, I think it's Collegedale maybe a little out of step. Now, I'm not saying that a private road fits every single scenario, because it doesn't. But when you are showing that there is the capability for a road to be constructed that meets what the fire department is looking for, what the city is looking for, what is accessible and safe, and meets all other requirements any other way, then I think then in those instances, let it go through. In a variance, if that's the procedure that we need to go through, I'm happy to do that. I'm not looking to open Pandora's box, but in certain situations, which I think this would qualify for, a private road is the right way to go. We just don't have the access to be able to get out to a public road viably otherwise. So with that, and I think this is a great use for the property as it tucks in here. I think this would be an asset to the community. Our biggest issue, and of course staff, we've talked with staff and they agree this is an appropriate use for the zoning. I think the biggest issue is just we need a mechanism and understanding that if you approve it, we would be looking to do a private road. Otherwise, the development doesn't occur because we can't make the access viable and meet the city standards as it relates to roads and how that access would work. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
And I don't recall the planning commission putting the variance on there, restrictions on this. Where did that come from?
So when he comes back for the subdivision, to split that, he's going to have a variance.
So go back to that slide.
To here.
Is that what the restrictions you're putting on him?
Oh. The condition is all residential lots must have a minimum of 20-foot frontage on an existing accepted and publicly maintained street or road. Lots whose only access is private road or easements are not permitted. So that was the condition that was approved.
No,
So that's, if we approve this for a private community in a private road, then that part would not be.
Yeah, that would be removed.
Applicable.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the restriction on the road or the road frontage is in your subdivision regs. And that's got to be changed by the planning commission, not by you. Y'all understand that?
yeah, we're just voting for the zoning change right now.
You just vote on the zoning.
Okay.
And if that's got to happen, then this condition really shouldn't be in. the
That's
ordinance.
not part of our vote tonight.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we're suggesting, a condition is being suggested. But the condition is you've got to have a public road. And what Mike's saying is it's not going to happen if it's got to be a public road. And so the issue would be whether the planning commission removes that requirement.
And it wouldn't it not be that the city council would strike that? Because if that is a condition, that specific language, in other words, I believe city council can pass, if it so chooses, the rezoning and stay neutral on the public road. Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to set up, Mike, is the condition really destroys what you're trying to do? And so the question is, but then again, the subdivision reg as it exists right now destroys what you're trying to do. So if you're interested in having this happen, then it should be passed without the condition, and then we can see what the planning commission does with the subdivision reg in that regards.
So that's where I was stuck, is this is a zoning case, but it shows private roads. Like he was saying, it's not really part of the case now, but moving forward, I was just trying to catch something that we might be gridlocked in and start discussion now.
Well, just for clarification from my own mind. So if we did like that, I mean, I understand what we're doing. We're just looking at the zoning. But if we pass this without conditions and it goes back to the planning commission, if the planning commission decides to do something else, then he could do this, right?
So if this gets approved tonight without the condition, he could rezone the property. But when he comes to develop that and do a subdivision, then that's when he will be stopped.
Okay.
And we'd have to get a variance or change the code and subdivision regulations.
I'm not sure, I don't know what the variance procedure is in the subdivision regs, but that's really not a proper variance. I think the regs ought to be changed, doesn't it? Yeah.
Either you, or if you show that there is a hardship, and the hardship in that instance would be that I don't have viable access, because essentially I'm somewhat landlocked, if you will.
Maybe, I'll just
Yeah.
take a look at it and see. But the bottom line is, if you're interested in this moving forward, or at least letting it take another step, you should not pass it with the condition suggested. Pass it without the condition.
I make a motion to pass without conditions,
As is, okay.
as is.
Because I was going to say, I don't see that on what we had in this,
Document.
what we had
Agenda.
in our agenda tonight. I don't see those conditions, and that's what's getting me confused.
Okay.
Are we voting on them or are we not? Or are we just voting on the zoning?
It was supposed to be voting on the zoning and the condition. But I understand what you're saying. It wasn't in the agenda.
The condition's not in the ordinance.
No, I don't believe so.
No.
If it's not in the ordinance, then you just pass the ordinance as it's written.
I moved to pass this as submitted.
Okay, we have a motion for approval and second.
Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. The condition wasn't in the ordinance.
A second.
It wasn't in the ordinance.
You need to go back and make a motion to pass it without the condition.
I'll make a motion to pass without conditions.
And I second that.
And we have a second and a motion for approval and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yay.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
No.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have first and final reading of Resolution 539.
A resolution authorizing the City of Collegedale to participate in the Public Entity Partners, Safety Partners Matching Grant Program.
Good evening. So this is a resolution basically agreeing to enter into a grant with Public Entity Partners. I believe $4,000 is what the potential is for us, and it's basically reimbursing us for money we've already spent on safety-related items.
That you've already spent?
Already spent it. They're basically depending on the size of our city and what our workman's comp is, that qualifies us for X amount of dollars. Where we range at is $4,000, and we've spent well over that. So it's basically a reimbursement to us from PEP.
Okay. So is this something we've already been awarded and now you're asking for approval to accept it?
So yeah, basically, because of our ratings and everything, it's something that we qualify for. And so we're basically applying for the grant and executing it and getting approval to do that.
It says the deadline to apply was August 18th.
Right. So we've already applied for it. And basically it's getting approval to accept the monies and do everything. Yeah. It's all been, the paperwork's already been done on it. Right. It's underway in spending limits. It's not really, we're not spending anything because it's already been spent. It's just basically asking for reimbursement. It's just getting commission approval on it.
Any other questions from the commission?
I move that we accept it.
I'll second.
Motion for approval and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yay.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. And the sixth item on the agenda tonight is approval of airport obstruction removal project. Mr. Byford.
Okay, before I begin, just want to update the commission real fast on the underground storage tank project. It was, the asphalt was put down just a short time ago. They finished up. The taxiway's been reopened and we just got a small punch list of things to complete. Shouldn't take more than a half a day or so, but light is at the end of the tunnel. We can see it and very happy to have this project behind us. It was off to kind of a rough start, but we are 99.9% complete. So very happy about that. So yeah, this is the approval of the this is approval of the obstruction removal project. As I mentioned a few weeks back, this relates to the trees that are on both ends of our runways on our approach ends. It's been an ongoing safety issue for a number of years, and the trees are to the point where the state views them as also a safety issue. They're too tall, and so aircraft are their vertical separation has been significantly reduced. So we need to get these taken care of. We did have two bids. One of them was disqualified because they did not submit the correct documentation. So the bid that we are asking for approval is LRS Land Services. The grant document should be included in your packet there. It is a 95.5 as most of our projects are. Total cost is $117,100 and our local share of that is $5,855. I view this as a extreme bargain for what we're going to be getting in return. So
I would agree. Any other comments, questions from the commission?
I move that we accept it.
Okay, and I will second that. Motion for approval and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay.
thank you.
And fantastic job. Thank you for addressing both of those safety issues, one of which could have been a very large liability concern for the city of Collegedale.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Thank you
Very
much.
happy with that.
Okay, approval of the flock safety contract. Chief.
Good evening. So recently, we've been discussing with Flock, and as our current contract prepares to expire, we were made aware of some changes that Flock was planning, which was going to involve some price increases moving forward. So Sergeant Herco has been our project lead on this and been working directly with Flock and speaking directly with the city managers. So I'm just going to kind of allow him to present the contract and answer your questions for you.
Okay, Sergeant.
Yeah, so our contract was going to be up November of 2024, which was at a $5,000 price point. Flock came to us and said, hey, listen, we're going up in prices, up another $500. If you re-up by January 1 of 24, you can stay at the $2,500 price point at a 5-year contract. So that 5-year contract over 5 years will save the city $10,000. Given that they don't raise their prices one more time. They have already raised the prices. This is the first time they've raised the prices since 2019, so that's a 4-year. But I think staying at the $2,500 price point will be good for the city. I'm also asking for 2 additional cameras to add on to that, which would be just another $6,100 this year because we already had $5,000 in the budget for the 2 existing cameras.
Okay. Any questions from commissioners?
I couldn't find where the commission had ever approved for the first contract to be signed. I saw where the commission approved a 3-month trial period.
Mhm. I can't answer that. I wasn't part of the project during that time.
Do you remember, Chief?
If it involved signing a contract, I would have gotten it to Sam and gotten it in front of y'all. I'll double check, but I would be shocked if it was not presented.
I believe Sam saw the first one as well. Actually, yes. I don't know why it wasn't presented the first time. Excuse me. When the first one came through, Sam approved it, and I was looking for all that documentation, and I don't know why it was never presented to the commission.
The one that I'm looking at now, Commissioner, that's in the project is one that I had seen a couple of months before because it had a indemnity provision in it, which I always have it written out because we legally can't indemnify anyone. And that was taken out. So I can tell you that I have seen what you're seeing now. But as far as the first version, I don't recall.
And that was what, 4 years ago?
No, that would have been about a year and a half.
You know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, yeah.
I had also seen in this contract where it says that this technology is capable of capturing audio. Are the units that we currently have
No.
capturing audio?
No, that, I don't know why that's in there. That is part of their Raven project, which is a gunshot detection.
You said, so this is for 4 cameras, including 2 we already have and 2 additional.
Yes, ma'am.
What would be the 2 new locations?
We haven't decided that yet, but they would be an egress somewhere along Ottawa Ringgold Road, and we're in talks of doing Absent Pike or Main Street.
Okay, and so this was what, $50,000-ish over 5 years, and the hardware remains their property?
Yes, ma'am.
They keep the maintenance up.
Yes, ma'am. So if you guys haven't kept up with all the lovely LPR stuff going on in and around the country, one thing Flock has done is they've replaced every single one of their cameras in the United States that will read the blue plate, because Tennessee, for some reason, went with the navy blue plate. So that change of camera lens and the technology that they did to that camera was all on Flock. The city wasn't responsible for anything. So staying at that $2,500 price point, everything will stay the same. The $650 that you see to make it $11,000 and change this first year is the installation fee.
Other questions? All right. I'm a big believer in what they're doing. I think it makes our city a safer place, and I will make a motion for approval.
I'll say.
And a motion for approval in a second. And roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yay.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
No.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay. And next item is approval to purchase Stalker radar units.
Yes, these are the new units for the new vehicles that we just ordered and received this year. We got 6 vehicles this year, as you're aware. We're needing 5 units to get those all equipped. So anyway, we worked with Stalker. They had a deal promotion they had going on towards the end of last week or so, where you buy 4 units, you get 1 free. So that's what you see here. So we're getting 5 units, but one of them is free. If we purchase the other 4, the total amount of the bid was $10,797.25.
When the current vehicles are being surplused, what's happening to the radar units that are taken out?
We're surplusing them.
So they're getting sold or?
Yes, they're getting sold. Either pulled out and sold separately, but typically we try to keep all the equipment in the vehicles and sell it as a police vehicle because of the time and manpower that it takes to pull out all these units and pull the wiring and all that. So the radar units are included in the build cost in the budget for all the new vehicles. So the radar units for each car are included in the overall cost of upfitting all the cars as we put them in the budget.
Are you having success with surplusing them as the police package? I think we're doing 4 this year. Have they gone already?
The ones we've surplus have all sold,
They're
yes.
sold, okay.
Yeah.
So how does technology change with these radar units, say over a 4 to 5 year period?
I think it's similar to any other technology. I mean, you've got about a 4 to 5 year lifespan, sometimes a little longer, just give and take on wear and tear and different conditions. But what we found is trying to rip all this stuff out and then put it back in tends to be more time consuming, and where you're having to replace wiring and cordage and different things. So, since we've been including radar units, as I said, in the overall cost of the vehicles as we're ordering them, then it just seems to be much more streamlined. It's resetting that technology, as we've talked about in the past, keeps everything fresh. The past year or two, I believe, we've been able to get grant funding for some or all of the radar units, but that grant funding wasn't available to us this year. So,
And this is a budgeted item?
it is, yes. It's included in the total cost of the vehicles as we add them to the budget. So basically, we just have a huge parts list that includes radios, radar units, consoles, lights, push bumpers, rear seats, all that. And then we come up to a total cost for each car, and then we budget for all of that.
I move that we accept the purchase of these units.
I'll second.
Motion for approval and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb?
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler?
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd?
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And approval of contract with CCI for pump station upgrades.
Good evening. Chris McAloon. We put out the RFQ 3-4 weeks ago.
About 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago, we had a month timeline to get submissions. We had 5 submissions, reviewed them in-house, did a query on them, and then picked 2 of the best candidates to do an in-person interview, selected 1 candidate that was the best for us. We've currently used them before on previous projects. They did phase 3 of Appison Pike Sewer. They're working on phase 4 Appison Pike Sewer. And now we're wanting to bring them for approval for our pump station modernization project, which is using ARP funding.
The contract that they submitted has got some objectionable language in it. It's my understanding there's been an exchange and they've agreed to remove the.
Correct. It had the standard indemnification stuff that we don't allow, can't do, and they were perfectly fine with taking it out. It's just, they use standardized contracts and forms, and that indemnification language is in there, so they agreed to pull it out, no problem.
So if you're going to approve it, motion to approve it with the indemnification language removed.
I'll move what he said.
Okay.
And I'll second it.
We have a motion for approval and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb?
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler?
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd?
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next, do we have any reports from city administration?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. And from the commission?
I just want to thank the large crowd we have tonight. This is pretty great. It's the largest we've seen in a while. I want to give some praise again to city staff for the Christmas event. It was magical. Most of the, this time of year, we all need something happy and upbeat. So it really hit the mark. Last thing tonight is I received a citizen contact. They're just upset because they're tired of being passed on a double yellow on Little Debbie Parkway and Main Street when they're doing the speed limit. So they didn't request extra patrol, but I believe that's what they were alluding to. Okay. All right.
It is nice to see one here, but it would be nice if you'd sit up front, not in the back. We're not a Baptist church.
I can see more back
Oh, I see.
I would like to say I was raised Baptist.
Ditto.
Well, I will also concur with Commissioner Sattler. It was an outstanding event last night. Ms. Clark, well done. That was just exceptional. A great leap over last year. Last year, I thought we had a good event. This was way above and beyond. So we look forward to it next year. So we'll hopefully keep the trend going upwards. I thought all the lights, everything looked fantastic. So job well done. Any other comments from the commission?
I'd like to say something, please. I think that, just to run on piggyback on y'all, I'm not going to be redundant, but I'm going to say it was an excellent job. I think possibly what we need to do is in the future budget that we have, we add a little bit extra more money. So we can present some things that we were interested in, and Christine was interested in presenting to make it even, I think it was wonderful, but to even fulfill even more dreams. So I'd like y'all to keep that in mind, that we go forward and not be stagnated. Okay. So remember in your budget when you present it, boost it. Yes. Okay, with your ideas so that we can look at it and see what we can do feasibly. Okay?
Well, we are known for the best fireworks.
Yep.
Best Christmas. So we've, Collegedale is making its mark. Any other comments?
Oh, there is going to be a Christmas market on the 23rd, is it?
Yep.
And I think it would be nice for us to support that for them.
Okay.
Good.
I think it starts at 4 in the afternoon, 5,
3 to 8 p.m.
3.
All right, very good. Any other comments? All right, if there are no other comments, then I will make a motion for adjournment. Do we have a second?
Second.
And roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker,
Yay.
Commissioner Lamb,
Yay.
Commissioner Sadler,
Yay.
Mayor Lloyd.
Yay. And we are adjourned.